Hi, everyone. I don't think I've ever presented in such a fantastic building. I don't know if you've turned around and seen the stained glass behind you, but it's just incredible. I've only just noticed it sitting here. Okay, so as the theme today is back to the hospitality future, I wanted to take you back to the future. I wanted to take you back to 1982. I was 19, and I was booking my first holiday. This was the biggest spend I was going to make, or I'd ever made. And I was going with my friend Sue. We decided we were going to go to Florida for a holiday, but not just any holiday. We were going for spring break, with a lot of shots. So our first thing we did was we went down to the travel agents, and we must have picked up about 300 brochures, at least 5 trees worth. And we went through every hotel in Florida in detail in every single brochure. It took us weeks. But in actual fact, what we read was the same text, and we saw the same images in pretty much every brochure. So we were going to base our decision on half a page and put our trust in the travel companies. If we fast forward now to 2015, which was the year in Back to the Future, the way that we trust has changed. We no longer put our trust in those travel companies anymore. We put it in each other, and it's almost gone full circle. If you think back to the days when you were in a small community, you would trust each other more than you would trust a company. The difference now is that that small community is global. So if you get it right, everybody knows. More importantly, if you get it wrong as a brand or as a hotel, everybody knows. So your reputation has never been more volatile or more important than it is now. If you think about the way that you choose a hotel, you probably have in your mind a short list of criteria. So now I want to go to Amsterdam, and I'm going to stay in this part of the city, and I want a hotel that's got near a cool bar, something like that. Get my short list. What's the first thing you do? Or the next thing you do? It's those reviews, isn't it? Get your short list of hotels, start reading the reviews. And when you talk to Google, they reckon 52% of travel-related browsing is about reading reviews. So, why do we look at them? Well, first of all, the hotel, like it did in these days, sets a level of expectation on its website, on its social media pages. But it's those reviews that tell you whether that hotel meets those expectations, ideally exceeds them, or fails. And that doesn't matter whether it's a 2-star hostel that's very basic. If it does a great job at being a 2-star hostel, it's going to get great reviews. Same if it's a 5-star luxury hotel. So keeping an eye on your online reputation can be a full-time job, looking at all those review sites, collecting guest feedback. Or you can use a tool like GuestRevu. And our goal is pretty simple. We're using technology to help you to listen to your guests, to learn from your guests, and ultimately earn from your guests. You think about a hotel as being like a donut. In the whole, the guests that you know have stayed with you, and you can have a one-to-one conversation with them. But outside are all the online review sites, whether it's Booking.com or Expedia or TripAdvisor or Google or Facebook. All of those sites have comments about you. So to really understand how you're performing, you've got to pull everything together into one place, and that's what we do. First thing we do, as I said, is listen. So we send out a fully branded questionnaire with a sense of your brand, your wording, your images, things that are important to you, like LB talked about this morning. Getting the message across that the money that the hotel makes is invested in just fantastic causes. The other thing that we do is we pull all of the online review sites into one place, into a single dashboard for you, so you can see what's being said around the world. And actually, while we're listening to your online reviews, we can also listen to your competitors. You know, what are the world saying about the hotel down the road? What do they love about them? What are they not so keen on? So that's the listening side. Second side is about learning. It's about stepping back from those one-to-one conversations and looking for trends, looking at what's working and making the most of that, or maybe what you need to tweak and to change and to fix. But if you're reliant on comment cards and you're reliant on just reading online review sites, you're never going to get that detailed information. You're never going to see really what's working and what isn't. And I think, just to go back to the the listening side. We talked earlier about the integration, and LV mentioned it, Matt mentioned it. We know that hoteliers are busy. You don't want to be moving data from one system to another. That's our job. So with Mews, we've got full automation. So the checkout data comes into GuestRevu, and we send the guest a questionnaire. As soon as we get a response, that's straight back into the PMS, into Mews. So when you're sitting there as a front of house team, you can see exactly what the guest said about their stay, and you can see if they had an issue. And that goes across all the reports that Mews generates. The best thing about working with Mews is that we figured out how we wanted that to work, what the problem was, not the functionality, figured out how we wanted it to work, what we wanted it to do, and within a couple of weeks, we had it up and running. That's the great thing about Mews. That's what I love about them. So going back to learning, it's about stepping back. I can tell you a whole handful of examples, or bucket loads, but actually LV at the Good Hotel, he says it best for me. So I'm just going to play a little video from him.
So the most important aspect that GuestRevu has helped us so far is our food and beverage concept. Our F&B team and our chef teams took it to like fish to water. They analyzed the guest reviews on each and every day. They try to understand how can they make the food offering better. So chef, for example, has come up with a very exciting new concept of conscious food, because thanks to GuestRevu, he realized that a lot of people nowadays want healthy food, food that has soul, food that's locally sourced. So we always talked about healthy food, we always use local suppliers, so that's not new to us, but what really changed is that it somehow landed with the teams. They suddenly realized these are the customers that I served yesterday or 2 days ago. These are the guys that were happy, but said it could be better. And we got that feedback, we started using it. And that really extends.
Across both the customer service that the Good Hotel provide and the offering. And we see that time and time again across our client base. It can be small tweaks or it can be large changes. It's really about what expectations are you setting and how are you meeting them, or ideally exceeding them. Once you get this right, you can start to earn money. So there's some research done by Cornell that talked about for every point on a 100-point scale that you increase your online reputation, you can increase your RevPAR, your ADR, and your occupancy in line with that. And I think there are a whole host of other factors that also influence that. But just think, if you go up the ranking on TripAdvisor, you're going to have a higher occupancy, more people are going to choose you, and you can push your rates up. There's also the savings that you can make. If you're not doing all of this guest feedback and online reputation management manually, if you're doing it automatically, you're going to save hours every week. You're also going to save on comps and refunds because you're getting it right first time. There's a whole other set of functionality within GuestRevu that's really cool. So we have the ability to drive reviews to TripAdvisor. We're a platinum partner. Don't know how that's going to change with the announcements they've come out with, but also to Google. So use that positive guest feedback to enhance your online reputation. We have service ticket functionality. So if the guest in room 12 says there was a problem with the shower, raise a service ticket, get that fixed. I talked about monitoring the comp set, and all the things that I've talked about are the same whether you're a single property or whether you're a group of properties. It's the same ethos. Listen to the guest, learn from what they're saying, make changes, and make money from it. And then just to finish, if I go back to Florida in 1982, the hotel was decidedly average. It was very 80s, as you'd expect. But we had a blast. It was the best holiday ever. And I think I learned a life lesson. Never drink shots when you're on holiday. All right, thank you.